Today I'm reviewing a book on a modern take on traditional ninjutsu. Hi guys, my name is Joe and my channel is Fighting Words, the martial arts library. And on this channel I review martial arts books and talk about other martial arts related subjects. Today I'm going to be reviewing the book Nindo Ryu Gendai Ninjutsu, published in 1999, and the authors are Carlos R. Febres de Jesus and Houston Haynes. Now, Mr. Febres, and I hope I'm pronouncing that close to being correct, he, among other things, has been a corrections officer. He started training martial arts when he was quite young, trained under, in his martial arts career, a number of luminaries, including Peter Urban and Shoto Tanemura. Nindo Ryu is his art, it's the one that he created, and Mr. Haynes is one of his students, who I assume is credited probably for his writing ability. That tends to be what we get in these kind of scenarios, where we have the name guy, the main guy, and then somebody who is sort of there as a bit of an aside. Usually they're the ones who are doing a bulk of the writing and putting down the concepts. Now, the book starts with some historical information, and then it moves quickly into principles. Some of the stuff it does here is in sort of a question and answer form, which I think is a nice touch. The principles that it includes here are things that you would typically find in many other Japanese martial arts books. For instance, Mae, which is distance, Kuzushi, which is off balancing, things like that. And the first part of this actually reads very much as an intro to Japanese martial arts concepts in general. Now, after that, the bulk of the book, bearing in mind this is a very short book, it's under 100 pages, the bulk of the book is going over 4 out of the 5 elements in this style of ninjutsu. And by elements, I mean like fire, wind, water, earth. The 5th element is void, that is not covered here. So the way this typically works is that the chapters have an intro section, and then they are followed by demonstrations of techniques. The demonstrations are given a bit of an overview. One thing that it is lacking, though, we get a number of pictures, but unlike sequences in similar books, instead of, picture number 1, attacker moves in with a punch, picture number 2, defender dodges, something like that, we get a rainfall of photographs, a little description in the corner. So unfortunately, that makes it a little bit difficult to see these specific techniques. The photos themselves are pretty small, and the description doesn't really go over these specific things that are occurring step by step in the sequence. As I mentioned, it goes over the 4 elements that are presented here. The first one is earth, and he likes to use the analogy of a mountain. So a lot of that section is about holding position and throwing the opponent to the ground. After that, we get fire, which is a very aggressive style and doesn't use a whole lot of attachments, a lot of grips. It avoids entanglements, I believe it said. After that, we get water, which is flexible. That's the characteristic of that particular element. There's a lot of close range evading encounters. After that is air, which, like water, does a whole lot of evading. They mentioned that Tai Sabaki, or body movement, is a big element, no pun intended, of that particular approach. In the sequences for the air element, what we seem to get a lot of is the attacker moving around, the defender moving around the attacker. There's a lot of spinning around behind them and getting to the other side of their body, which, okay, neat, but also That seems like a lot of excessive energy right there. After that, we do get some weapons demonstrations. The weapons that are shown, a lot of them are traditional. For example, the sword, the jo, which is a 4-foot staff, a nagamaki, which is a pole arm. It's sort of like a short halberd, I guess. We get the tanto, which is the traditional Japanese knife. There's even a sequence with a handgun. As far as the pros go, I really like the explanation of the Japanese martial arts principles at the beginning. Without a large description of the techniques, I think another benefit might be that you do get flooded with photographs. So you can take a look at them, and once you pick up the sequence, because again, it's not ordered, there are no arrows showing you one to the next. But once you can sort of get down, okay, where should I be looking in the sequence, you can get a general idea of what's going on, which makes up a little bit for not having any description. As far as the cons go, there's still no description, not in depth anyway. Like I said, in many books like this, you would get enumerated descriptions of what's going on in each photograph, and unfortunately we don't get that here. As well, the photos are tiny. This is the size of the book, and photos are small enough so that you have 4 going down the length of this. So they're like, yay, big. Recommendations. If you can find it, I do appreciate that it does a very concise job of explaining principles of Japanese martial arts. Outside of that, I would have some trouble recommending it. It has a similar flavor as the Bujinkan type of martial arts. Frankly, despite the name that it is Gendai, which means new school, basic, not really new school. Gendai means that it is a modern approach to this particular martial art. Despite that name, I don't really see a whole lot that distinguishes that from the other material I have from, Tokugure-ryu, the Bujinkan material. I can't tell that there's any difference. Other books on the same subject have been done better, respectfully. So outside of just having that brief explanation at the beginning, it's very difficult for me to want to recommend this. I have checked out Mr. Febres' website, his current up-and-running Nindo Ryu school. He offers a number of books there. I think most of them are ebooks. If you are interested in that style, perhaps those would be better to go to as opposed to this hard copy. So, short review. It was a short book. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.